About 70% of the Earth's surface is covered by oceans. Through water circulation and plate tectonics, the oceans have nurtured much of Earth's life. On the other hand, although the oceans are extremely important for life, it is said that humans have explored only about 20% at most. This tendency is even more pronounced in the deep sea, where exploration is especially difficult. For this reason, many people wonder if unknown giant creatures might exist in the deep sea. The idea that there could be unseen, gigantic life forms at the bottom of the ocean is quite romantic. So, do truly undiscovered giant creatures exist today? And if such a giant creature were discovered, what would happen? This time, I'll introduce what could happen if giant creatures exist in the deep sea. Currently, the largest animal on Earth is the blue whale, which lives in the ocean. The largest individual ever found reached 30 meters in length and 200 tons in weight, surpassing even the largest dinosaurs and earning the title of the largest animal in Earth's history. Blue whales are thought to have achieved such gigantic size because at the end of the Ice Age, a large amount of nutrients flowed into the ocean, causing a rapid increase in krill and other food sources. For animals to grow this large is a rare event in Earth's history. On the other hand, some giant creatures that once lived in Earth's oceans, while smaller than whales in size, far surpassed them in terms of terror. For example, the megalodon, a giant shark reaching up to 18 meters in length, is one such creature. There's also the sea scorpion, a type of arthropod called Acutiramus, which grew up to 2.5 meters long, making it the largest arthropod in Earth's history. And we must not forget the famous reptile, the Mosasaurus. Mosasaurus lived in the oceans during the Cretaceous period, about 145 million to 66 million years ago. Just as modern whales and dolphins are mammals adapted to ocean life, Mosasaurus was a reptile that adapted to the sea. There are various estimates of its length, but some suggest it was about 17 meters long, similar to Megalodon. Despite its huge body, it had a shark-like tail and streamlined body for fast swimming, a crocodile-like head, and an extra row of teeth in its mouth to tear prey apart and devour it. Mosasaurus appears to have reigned at the top of the food chain in the ocean at that time. Furthermore, Mosasaurus is believed to have been extremely ferocious, with evidence showing it preyed on large fish over a meter long and even other members of the mosasaur family. If Mosasaurus were still alive today, the marine ecosystem could be completely different. The Earth's oceans are vast, and there are many areas, especially in the deep sea, that humans have not explored. If an undiscovered giant creature were found in the deep sea, what would happen? Some might think that the idea of undiscovered giant creatures is just a fantasy. However, many biologists believe that depending on the definition of giant creature, there are still undiscovered life forms in the deep sea. In fact, many new species have been discovered even in modern times. In the 20th century, the coelacanth, which grows up to 2 meters long, was discovered in 1938, and the megamouth shark, which can reach 5 meters, was found in 1976. Both are known to live at depths of several hundred meters or more, so while local fishermen might have known about them, it's easy to imagine why they were hard for biologists to discover. Even in the 21st century, discoveries of deep-sea creatures continue. For example, in 2013, analysis of whale bones used for food in Kiribati in the Pacific Ocean revealed a new species of beaked whale. The beaked whale family, which sometimes ventures into the deep sea, is still largely mysterious. Also, in 2020, off the coast of Australia at a depth of 630 meters, a siphonophore colony about 46 meters long was discovered. Rather than a single animal, this is better described as a colony of individuals. Seeing long, string-like forms drifting through the deep sea like UFOs feels like wandering into another world. Thus, even in recent years, discoveries of comparatively large creatures continue, and especially in the deep sea, there are organisms that defy human common sense. The possibility of a giant creature like Mosasaurus, over 10 meters long, hiding in the deep sea may be low, but many researchers believe that creatures several meters long are highly likely to exist. So if an undiscovered giant creature were to exist in the deep sea, what would it look like? Of course, it's difficult to answer this question, but we can make guesses based on the characteristics of other deep-sea organisms. First, the deep sea has low temperatures year-round, which is thought to promote gigantism. On Earth, it's generally known that organisms living at higher latitudes tend to be larger, and indeed, giant squids exceeding 10 meters and giant isopods reaching several dozen centimeters are much larger than their land relatives. Also, since food is scarce in the deep sea, if a giant creature exists, it would likely have a low metabolism and move slowly. In fact, giant squids weighing over 500 kilograms have extremely low metabolism, and studies estimate that eating just 30 grams per day may be enough. This is partly because giant squids don't move much, waiting for prey to touch their tentacles, but also because, in general, larger animals have lower metabolic rates per unit of body weight, following Kleiber's law. We know a lot about the ecology of giant squids and giant isopods, but another example of a large animal living in similar environments is the Greenland shark. This shark, which mainly inhabits deep waters in high-latitude regions, moves between the surface and the depths in near-freezing water, feeding on carrion and sleeping prey. It can reach over 6 meters in length, but has a very low metabolism. For example, a study suggests that eating a single 25-kilogram young sea lion could fuel it for over a year. Low metabolism also means slow movement and growth rates. Its maximum swimming speed is only about 2.6 kilometers per hour. Its gestation period is 8 to 18 years. It takes over 140 years to become reproductively mature, and its lifespan exceeds 400 years, living on a completely different timescale from humans. If a giant creature exists in the deep sea, it would likely conserve energy, use strategies to catch prey, and grow slowly over hundreds of years, just like these animals. Some may imagine ferocious hunters like Mosasaurus or Megalodon, but if you ever visit the deep sea, you should be cautious. There may be giant creatures quietly waiting with outstretched tentacles, like the giant squid. That's all for Curiosity Science. See you next time.